Welcome to this episode of Truth Seekers, where His Grace Bishop Emilianos of Meloa will answer questions sent in by the youth with a member of the youth.
Hello again, Faye. I've got a question for you here, which says, how do you respond to those who say that Christianity is close-minded? What do you think?
It's a very interesting question. And I think if someone were to respond to that question, it depends on what type of Christian you are, what stage in your spiritual life, what part of the journey that you're currently on. I used to get really angry when people would say we're so close-minded, because for me, I felt nothing but freedom in the church, and not just a freedom to love, but a freedom to think.
But, sorry for interrupting you, you're a convert, right?
Yes.
So you're talking about the Orthodox Church now?
Yes, and I think when we step into our faith, it's difficult for us to comprehend how our friends and family can't step into it with us. I've heard comments personally and from our community of how we operate with a closed-minded behaviour. A lot of people feel uncomfortable when we, even during our liturgies, when we do certain, I would say, ecclesiastical things. I remember someone saying to me that they feel uncomfortable that when a bishop or an archbishop is on the throne, that the throne is censored more times. And for someone who's looking at it from an outside perspective, I think it can be quite scandalous. And I think that accepting Christianity is a very hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. Through our freedom of choice and through our prayer and through our discernment, we know that that is what the truth is. I don't think that people in our faith are leading themselves blindly. And that's evident everywhere. In every church, there are people that go through a spiritual journey, and it would be incorrect to say that everybody follows the church from a strict set of rules with a strict guideline, and there's no freedom to think and there's no freedom to love, because it is. Our church is one of the most thought-provoking churches that I know, because we are so different compared to other churches. And I say different because Christianity has, I guess, expanded through different denominations and whatnot. So to what a modern person would understand Eastern Orthodoxy to be, it's quite different. I think I know my character well enough, and I don't think I follow things blindly. And I don't think that I never think about things like, how did he perform this miracle? This seems ridiculous to me. I don't just read the gospel and follow everything. I think about it. And sometimes that can lead us down the wrong path. But our church has been designed to always provide an answer for everything. I think that's what sustained us for so long.
I was only thinking of a couple of things. To say that someone is close-minded, it means that this person uses his logic and his understanding is not wide enough to embrace everything and everyone. But I believe that in the Orthodox Church, our logic goes second. What goes first is our focus on God, and then you get a spiritual sense of how things work. And it's also a matter of character. Like, someone might be narrow-minded because he is narrow-minded. He can't change his mind to think differently. You can find those people in every church, in our church as well. And we have to understand that if we judge them, we are the narrow-minded ones. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that our church is narrow-minded because some people, or even some priests and some bishops, they are, and some spiritual fathers are. What it means is that we ourselves, as true Christians, we have to open our hearts to God, focus on God, become one with God, And once you become one with God, then you can see with God's eyes and understand the way that God understands, and not judge, but feel the other person's pain the way that Jesus does. And this is what it is to have an open mind. It's not an open mind, it's an open heart. And you can't have a closed heart and expect to be open-minded. People, they go through problems that we don't even know. So keep an open mind, keep an open heart, embrace others the way they are. And then this is what our church is all about. But there are people in our church that they are narrow-minded. It is what it is. You can't change others, you can only try and improve your own self. And that's it, I guess. What do you think?
I agree. I remember my spiritual father said to me, the church is perfect and people are imperfect. And I think that is what keeps me aware of people in our church that are close-minded, or even myself when I'm being narrow-minded about something.
It's just that if we really want to not be stopped in a way in our spiritual life, it's better if we keep away from the narrow-minded people that can influence our lives, and we follow them and they're narrow-minded. It won't be easy to break away from this trend of thinking. So we need to pray to God to bring people in our lives that they have His Spirit, His freedom, His love, and then we just follow these people and our hearts open towards God, and He does the rest. We just follow.
On a more practical sense, what would you say to someone that would make the comment that our church is narrow-minded in the sense of our inability in Australia, for instance, in the last, 15 years of not developing the English language in liturgies, not involving youth or having youth activities, things like that, and that and we can't ignore it, but there is a culture and a mindset that exists in our church. So what would you say to someone that is experiencing those things in their parish or just even generally with our faith?
I don't know, and I can't talk about the past, but I can talk about the present, and this is something that our archdiocese is looking into. For example, the monastery where I was in Perth, we have 2 churches in the property, within the property, and the one will be English speaking and the other one will be Greek speaking, and they will operate at the same time with 2 different priests on a Sunday. And if we do similar things everywhere, then I guess this is not a problem anymore.
Yes.
So we can't talk about the past, but we can talk about our present, which promises a safe future for those who don't speak Greek. And we're in Australia, we will do our best to embrace everyone, I guess.